Prince Harry's ultimate shame as he puts the Kardashians before the veterans who he claims to care most about.
While the royal family stood in solemn silence honoring heroes who gave everything for their country, Meghan Markle was miles away in Beverly Hills, striking a glamorous pose beneath a chandelier shaped like a martini glass. Duty and devotion in London, decadence and flashbulbs in California, the contrast couldn't be sharper.
And you can see it in the paparazzi footage as Prince Harry leaves this event, is that he's not happy about it.
Yes, while King Charles bowed his head in quiet remembrance, poppies glinting on the lapels of those who've truly served, Meghan Markle was turning Remembrance Day into a red carpet spectacle. And beside her, Prince Harry, once the soldier prince, wore his poppy like a party pass, swaying to music that probably cost more than his medals. Respect in London, revelry in Beverly Hills. The image was jarring, and the optics? Absolutely explosive.
And I also have no sympathy, if we just come back to me here, for Ms. Markle refusing to wear one of these because she knows how to get them. This was purposeful.
This wasn't just another celebrity outing, oh no. This was Meghan Markle's grand audition for Hollywood royalty. A glittering, champagne-soaked spectacle where solemn tradition met spray tan. And lost, under the lights, every sparkle screamed ambition, not remembrance. It wasn't a tribute, it was a performance, and Meghan was determined to be the star of it.
I mean, it just shows us what the Sussexes have been reduced to, unapologetically tacky. How pathetic and disappointing their priorities currently are.
Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash, a Bond-themed spectacle, where every guest shimmered like a billionaire spy. Except one, the Duchess herself. Meghan Markle showed up looking less 007 chic and more Target clearance haute couture, desperately masquerading as a fashion icon in a room full of actual luxury.
The royal family are meant to honor the fallen on a solemn remembrance weekend in the UK, but the dumb, traitorous Prince Harry and his grinning wannabe instead chose to honor a Kardashian 5,000 miles away. No interest in duty, just tacky fame.
Online, people couldn't believe their eyes. While the UK was wrapped in solemn reflection, the Sussexes were wrapped in fake tan and flashing cameras. And the internet? It roasted them harder than the caterer's truffle sliders. But here's where it gets delicious, because this wasn't just tone-deaf, it was strategic. Nothing Meghan does is accidental. Every pose, every accessory, every oops moment is perfectly choreographed for maximum attention. So the question isn't how could they? It's why did they? Why would Meghan and Harry turn a sacred night of remembrance into a PR performance? Oh, you're not ready for the answer, because the deeper you dig, the messier this royal script gets. And trust me, it's about to spill.
Well, Meghan's upset plenty of people and possibly embarrassed Prince Harry by not wearing a poppy alongside her husband at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party.
Beverly Hills shimmered under a sea of chandeliers. That night, champagne towers taller than rent checks, glitter spilling from every corner, and a guest list so exclusive it made Buckingham Palace look like a PTA meeting. Kris Jenner, the self-crowned queen of American fame, was celebrating her 70th birthday with a James Bond-themed bash dripping in money, ego, and enough sequins to blind a continent. Every inch of the venue screamed excess gold leaf cocktails, diamond-studded invitations, and secret entrance codes for guests who already owned the world. This wasn't a party. It was a power summit. Jeff Bezos arrived looking like Mr. Monopoly goes to space. Kim Kardashian floated in like she owned MI6, but when photographers thought they'd seen it all, in glided the Duke and Duchess of Hollywood. The moment Meghan and Harry stepped through those doors, the air snapped tighter than Kris Jenner's facelift. You could feel the room shift, half awe, half secondhand embarrassment. It was supposed to be Kris Jenner's night, but suddenly, all eyes, all lenses, and all whispers belonged to them. It was bold, it was brazen, and it was calculated. Because when Meghan Markle enters a room, she's not looking for champagne, she's hunting for the spotlight. And the thing about Hollywood spotlight? It's dazzling. But it burns fast. While everyone else toasted Kris, Meghan and Harry were already plotting the next headline. They didn't just arrive, they performed it. The doors opened dramatically, flashbulbs exploded, and they moved slow enough for every camera to drink them in. It wasn't an entrance, it was an announcement. Meghan glided in first, chin tilted just high enough to demand attention, her black ensemble catching every flicker of light. It wasn't elegance, it was intent. Behind her trailed Harry, the reluctant +1. Looking like a man who'd rather be home watching The Crown. The cameras clicked before they'd even reached the bar, as if, by pure coincidence, the paparazzi had been tipped off to the exact second they'd appear. Coincidence, please. This was a masterclass in stage spontaneity, a red carpet performance disguised as a birthday cameo. And that night, under Beverly Hills chandeliers, the royals didn't just crash a party. They hijacked the narrative.
Extraordinary optics, given Harry claims, and remember he wrote that personal note last week saying he cares nothing more, Brittany, than the British veterans. And then on our most important day, Remembrance Sunday, he goes to a tacky party with the Kardashians. He can't even bother to procure his disrespectful wife a goddamn poppy. It's a stinking new.
Guests turned their heads, whispering behind crystal flutes of champagne. The Kardashians barely flinched. Bezos gave a polite nod. And Kris Jenner? She flashed that polished PR smile, the kind that says, "You're stealing my spotlight, but fine. Make it worth my hashtags." Every step Meghan took looked rehearsed to perfection, the gentle hand on Harry's arm, the crafted laugh, the precise pause for flashbulbs. But beneath that flawless performance was something more, a hunger you could almost feel. They weren't there to celebrate Kris Jenner's milestone, they were there to remind Hollywood they still mattered, and if the camera flashes didn't prove it. Meghan's face did that unmistakable look of a woman who came to conquer, not to mingle. While Meghan and Harry basked in the Beverly Hills glow, 5,000 miles away, the rest of the royal family stood in cold November silence. London streets were lined with poppies, black coats, and bowed heads, a nation remembering its fallen. The contrast was devastating. Duty and dignity on one side of the Atlantic, designer gowns and paparazzi on the other. And when photos of Meghan's grinning face hit social media beside Kate's composed profile at the cenotaph, the internet erupted, tweets flooded timelines same day. Two worlds, memes popped up faster than PR statements could be drafted. And once again, Meghan Markle had managed to turn remembrance into a headline. Because in the kingdom of cameras and crowns, timing is everything, and this time, her timing was fatal.
She looked so respectful and pensive. And of course, we bring you these incredible visuals of Catherine honoring the patriotic and deceased, in jarring comparison to Meghan Markle hitting up a Kardashian back.
Commentators called it the split screen of the century. On one side, a princess draped in tradition and respect. On the other, a duchess drenched in sequins and a questionable tan. The contrast was cinematic, but the optics? A PR disaster, or maybe exactly what Meghan wanted. After all, in her world, outrage means engagement. Veterans and royal watchers alike were appalled. How could Prince Harry, a decorated soldier, dance while his comrades mourned in silence? One British tabloid headline screamed, "From battlefield to ballroom," and even sympathetic outlets struggled to defend them. Across X, formerly Twitter, the memes multiplied faster than royal statements. One viral post placed Harry's party photo beside images of soldiers saluting. Captioned, "From battlefield to buffet table, spot the difference." It wasn't just about hypocrisy, it was about disconnection, because that night, the world saw two monarchies, one honoring the fallen and another chasing camera flashes. One stood for duty, the other for digital relevance. And whether Meghan and Harry realized it or not, they'd just written the boldest headline of Remembrance Weekend, and it wasn't flattering. While Kate embodied grace under solemn skies, Meghan sparkled under disco lights. The message was clear, and the backlash was instant. In one night, they didn't just blur the line between royal and celebrity, they erased it completely.
It's hard to comprehend where Meghan Markle's head is when we are seeing such grace and strength and selflessness from Catherine. How she could justify throwing on her Bond gear and showing up to the Kardashians' house.
Now let's talk about that look, because if the event itself raised eyebrows, Meghan's outfit launched them straight into orbit. She arrived draped in a black wrap skirt that didn't seem to know whether it wanted to be elegant or experimental, the fashion equivalent of an identity crisis. The mismatched fabrics clashed like two rival stylists at war, screaming Pinterest mood board gone rogue. But the outfit was just the beginning. The real showstopper, the tan. That unmistakable orange-tinged glow that caught every flash like a roadside flare. Social media crowned it the Bond villain spray tan, and honestly, they weren't wrong. Then came the poppy. Oh, the poppy. Once a sacred emblem of remembrance, it had been reduced to an accessory pinned onto an outfit designed for attention. Critics couldn't believe the irony of flower of sacrifice glittering under disco lights. "That's not tribute," one user wrote. "That's branding," and they weren't the only ones saying it. Even American outlets, usually sympathetic to Meghan's flair for spectacle, called the look bizarrely tone-deaf. Harry didn't escape the backlash either. His own poppy meant to honor fallen soldiers looked tragically misplaced amid cocktail glasses and velvet tuxedos. It was like wearing a medal to a nightclub. What should have been a quiet, dignified gesture of respect turned into a slow-motion PR disaster. Across the internet, the takedowns came fast and fierce. Funeral chic meets Halloween tan, one headline mocked. 007 called he wants his villain back, another quipped. And through it all, Meghan smiled, poised, unbothered, at least on the outside. Because one thing became painfully clear that night: this wasn't a fashion statement. It was a misfire disguised as meaning. A high-gloss attempt at reverence that backfired spectacularly under the Beverly Hills lights.
It looks like Meghan Markle married Prince Harry not for him, not to serve the British people, but to serve herself and the excess she always wanted to indulge in, the fame and the attention she always wanted to indulge in, but could never achieve on her own. Meghan Markle did not get an invite to that party. Prince Harry with Meghan Markle got an invite to that party. They're inviting him because of Harry.
Remember when Meghan and Harry said they wanted a private life? Apparently, privacy now comes with a guest list, professional lighting, and a camera crew on standby. Because somehow, every time they accidentally appear somewhere, there's a full set of photographers waiting like it's episode 3 of a Netflix spin-off. The Beverly Hills Bash was no different, a supposedly intimate celebration that somehow produced crystal clear photos from every angle. Coincidence, please. That's not privacy. That's PR choreography for a couple who famously fled royal duties to escape the spotlight. They've developed an uncanny talent for chasing it. Reports suggest their team quietly tipped off select outlets, just enough to make sure they'd be seen but never caught. Classic Meghan strategy: control the narrative, then claim to be misunderstood. Meanwhile, Harry looked like a man trying to disappear into the wallpaper. Every photo captured him half smiling, half regretting his choices, while Meghan worked the room like it was her red carpet resurrection. She knows the golden rule: no photo, no relevance. Critics wasted no time calling it out. They didn't escape the media, one journalist tweeted. They just hired their own version of it. Another headline summed it up perfectly: from fleeing fame to feeding it Sussex style. Because in Meghan and Harry's world, visibility isn't the side effect, it's the business plan. And on this glittering Beverly Hills night, privacy wasn't stolen. It was auctioned off, one flash at a time.
It was the worst thing that Meghan and Harry could have done. It just shows how disconnected they are from not only the public, the Remembrance Day, the people of the UK, but also from themselves, from each other. They are very disconnected from each other. She wants one thing, he wants another. And every time they step out here, him looking miserable and her looking so happy, it's very difficult. It's a hard.
Here's where things get juicy. Whispers say Meghan Markle might not have even been officially invited. That's right, the Duchess of Drama allegedly slipped into Beverly Hills' most exclusive birthday bash through the back door of high society. Rumor has it her team coordinated the appearance through a management connection, a move that screams calculated hustle, not VIP privilege. Once inside, Meghan switched from guest to campaign mode. She wasn't mingling, she was networking, gliding between tables, flashing that perfectly rehearsed smile, and dropping names like confetti. Every conversation looked like a potential headline, every selfie an audition for relevance. Kris Jenner posed for a quick photo. Kim Kardashian gave a polite wave. Then silence. The Hollywood elite smiled, nodded, and moved on. Because in a room full of true power players, Meghan wasn't the main character. She was the spectacle. Her energy was loud, her intent transparent. Even Harry's awkward shuffle in the background couldn't soften the impression that this was strategy, not spontaneity. While Meghan played social chess, the room had already moved to steps ahead. Because in Hollywood, everyone wants a picture, but no one wants the PR baggage that comes with it. If Meghan and Harry came expecting royal treatment, Hollywood delivered a polite shrug. The crowd wasn't dazzled, they were distant. Kris kept her trademark smile fixed in place. Kim leaned toward a stylist and whispered. Bezos stared into his champagne like it held state secrets. The room's vibe shifted from curiosity to quiet calculation. The message couldn't have been clearer. Meghan may know how to make an entrance, but in Hollywood's hierarchy, showing up isn't the same as being wanted, because at this level of fame, charm alone doesn't open doors, it just reminds everyone you're still knocking.
Kris Jenner's post on Instagram immediately after the party. I think there are the maximum of 20 pictures in this slideshow. She made the mix, not one glimpse of the royal couple. Because the reality is that in Hollywood, they're not royalty anymore. They're on the D-list. So they may get the invite, but they're not on the Snoop Dogg or Oprah Winfrey.
Eyewitnesses said Meghan floated from group to group, trying to anchor herself in conversations that never quite stuck. The laughter that followed her was polite but hollow, the kind people use when they're ready for you to move along. Harry hovered nearby, fidgeting with his drink, clearly realizing this wasn't the royal balcony crowd. No one bowed, no one fawned. They just scrolled through their phones between champagne refills. Because Hollywood royalty doesn't kneel for crowns, it kneels for relevance. And on this night, Meghan's currency was running dangerously low. Even the paparazzi outside shifted focus, turning their lenses back toward the Kardashians, where the clicks actually paid. Her grand entrance had faded into a whisper. And by the end of the night, the message was unmistakable in this kingdom of fame. Meghan wasn't the queen, just another guest who overstayed the spotlight. And Harry? His silence screamed louder than any headline while Meghan worked the room like a press junket. Harry lingered in the background, a ghost of a prince at a party that didn't want him. His posture said it all, hands buried in pockets, shoulders tense, eyes darting toward the exit. He looked like a man who'd wandered into the wrong movie, a thriller starring his wife and a cast of influencers. Sources say he barely spoke, offering only stiff smiles and quiet nods as Meghan performed for the cameras, every laugh rehearsed, every glance perfectly timed. Each flash captured her confidence and his discomfort. Because while Meghan chased the light, Harry stood trapped in its shadow, the former soldier once saluted for duty, now illuminated by disco lights that mocked both. And as the night drew to a close, one truth became crystal clear: fame had crowned Meghan, but it had quietly unmade Harry.
Interesting how Harry finds no fault in their cooperation or their cooperating with the media. But when he claims his family does the same thing, it's simply unforgivable. We have to write a book. We have to do a Netflix series about it.
Observers said Harry looked visibly uncomfortable, like a man realizing too late that he'd traded purpose for publicity. Even the paparazzi barely bothered with solo shots, their lenses locked on Meghan's theatrics. That night, Harry wasn't the rebel prince or the royal outcast. He was a prop in Meghan's never-ending campaign for brand supremacy. A man caught between the weight of a crown and the emptiness of clout, and deep down, you could see it on his face. He knew it. As the night faded, the lights dimmed and the champagne lost its sparkle, Meghan and Harry slipped out of Kris Jenner's glitter-soaked fantasy with more headlines than handshakes. What was meant to be a glamorous comeback ended as a masterclass in misplaced ambition. While the royals in London bowed their heads in remembrance, the Sussexes turned sacrifice into spectacle, transforming a solemn weekend into a reality TV moment. The message couldn't have been clearer: you can trade palaces for parties, but dignity doesn't come with an RSVP. In Hollywood, smiles can be rehearsed, but silence tells the truth, and that night, the silence was deafening. Meghan had come to be the star of the show, but she left as the punchline everyone whispered about. Her confidence looked like armor. Harry's quiet looked like regret. And as the final flashes faded, they stepped into the dark, a duchess chasing relevance, a prince chasing escape, because in the city where fame burns brightest, it also burns fast. And that night, under the chandeliers of Beverly Hills, it wasn't just the champagne that lost its shine, it was them.
Harry and Meghan's titles should be pulled ASAP, and their place in the line of succession should be immediately revoked, because they're not demonstrating the qualities of royalty that they should be. They're expressing basically the excesses of Hollywood, the indulgence of uber wealth. And Harry and Meghan don't even have.
But don't think this story ends here, because the real twist in Meghan's social climb comes from someone dangerously close to her. Someone whose truth could flip her entire Hollywood narrative upside down. Before you go, make sure to binge my previous expose right here on Spill the Crown, where we uncover the insider who finally broke their silence and revealed everything about Meghan's real inner circle. Trust me, you'll want to see that one before the next royal storm hits, because the truth only gets darker from here.